Hello and welcome. This is Diana, and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is a generalized reading, so as always, take what resonates, leave the rest. And it's kind of weird because ever since this new moon, which just happened, I think, like a week ago, there's kind of been this like push or this lay on my heart of like those of you that have been in a state of fear, limitation, isolation, um, like almost in a freeze mode. This is specifically going to like release you out of whatever has been in your way. It's kind of like gonna bulldoze any they said narcolepsy. I think that's like an amnesia or like a when you forget or when you go to sleep. Um like you just instantly fall asleep. And so like you could have like an awakening process, or I'm going to throw some cards, but like just let the messages come as they may, right? But you could very well have been like chipping away at your own evolution through your own process, coming into a state of like finally being at peace through like it's like through self omission. It's like finally coming to a state where like you're no longer reactive in your environment through the conditions that you have been experiencing, right? Like things could have had you feeling out of sorts or feeling unaligned, right? Like in a state of like delays, like mad delays. And you could be, spiritually quite frustrated, right? You could be at a state of like, okay, like when is it coming? What is falling into place? Like attempting to lean into a state of where you are, it's like at peace with your own decisions, at peace through like the pause, through the stagnation, through like it's kind of like it's like the wishes that were placed for prosperity, for financial abundance, for uh children. There's been this spiritual warfare in regards to trying to stronghold you out of like your divine, and it's coming out again. It's like you coming out of like, it's kind of wild. It's like regardless of the battles, I'm sorry, like it's like really regardless of the missed opportunities, right? Like the battles that you've been waging against have kind of kept you in a state of steadfast. And although you only believed yourself to be building one pinnacle, one financial abundant pathway, right? And you were under the understanding that somebody was generous with everyone except for you, right? And it's kind of like whatever you thought, there's going to be some kind of breakthrough, yeah, through like the divine. It's kind of like you're going to understand specifically what the delays were in maturity, in spiritual attackment. They're kind of showing me like an integration through like a warrior's preparation into battle, right? Coming into harmoniousness with your soul, the Father and the higher self. It's like allowing Father, Son, Holy Spirit to fully align and be the true backbone, the rib bone is what they said. In your emotional life. It's kind of like you're going to understand as you're releasing whatever has been shutting away, like what no longer nurtures the soul and what feeds the soul. It's understanding the opposition of what has been coming at you or what has been attempting to shake your stability, right? Like you're gonna understand, oh, they're showing me like a masculine coming into contact with the divine mother and not understanding that that was the wishes fulfilled. Instead there was a fleeing a releasing of, a pushing forward, and like running almost, past issues, past understandings. It's understanding the alignment of the Trinity. I don't know. But there was some kind of a journey or a challenge, or it's kind of like a crossroads, and understanding that a multitude of people have different frequencies and alignments, and some just feel like family, right? And there can be heartache attached to it, but once it's fully released, it's kind of like one then aligns again within itself. There is a vibrational frequency, a vibrational alignment, and maybe somebody didn't necessarily see this when they were trying to control like a position, trying to control a perspective. There's some kind of breakthrough, and it could very well be because we're at the tail end of the year of the snake. And so there could very well be some kind of a, yeah, it's literally like a magician's, pathway. It's understanding spiritual wisdom of the choices that were made and impeded by lower vibrational frequencies. It's and it's kind of interesting because I've been doing a little bit of understanding through self-evaluation, through reflection, through like the journey up until now, how the devil and the demonic forces will attempt to keep somebody who is of God's light, or a earth warrior, or a angelic presence, right? It's somebody who is an earth angel, a frequency shifter, a gatekeeper. They are like attempting to impede or stifle your ability to stand up and get new blueprints, to get new codes, right? For those of you that have been like pushed into the inside, make sure you're getting outside. You have to get the sun and get the DNA for at least 20 minutes a day, regardless of them trying to impede the sun. God is greater. And so it's time for you to step into like what you're supposed to do on this planet. Because your DNA needs it. It's your evolutionary state. It's for your own evolution. And somebody's kind of seeing truth as truth. No longer like pulling the pathway of the simulation. It's kind of like you're now challenging the narrative, and that is rippling. Like as you challenge the narrative, or as you um it's kind of like claim back your land as you step forward in your own spiritual wisdom, and you are now the backbone, right? You're going to start raising up into your own, they're just showing me like a masculine energy, like understanding the assignment. It's kind of like the alpha wakes up from a slumber, and this could very well be like a continuation, because again, they're showing me the bear. And that was yesterday's reading, I believe, or my last general. And it's really like the stimulation of like masculine energy and agility. And it's kind of like understanding where feminine energy has been manipulated or bound because there was a lack of a true divine masculine. And it's understanding like, what it means to honor a masculine's feminine energy, but also understand that the masculine is the alpha. They are the one to pick up the shield. Yes, the female may be the mate that also is a shield maiden, right? And they're showing me that, but there is this understanding of duality through integrity, right? Through the understanding of getting the assignment. It's not an easy one, understanding the spiritual battle, and understanding the physical, incarnation, like the physical of the manifestation. And it takes an elevated perspective to understand like all facets of duality, all facets of conscious, unconscious, etheric, and spiritual, having a human experience, right? And understanding all of those facets are gonna be like the cornerstone of the understanding of what it means to defend. They just said it's like to defend the. They said maiden, but they're showing me like dragons. And I don't know if like at one point in time that was, yeah, it's been a long time since I've dove into medieval. Those lifetimes were not fun. So maybe that's something that you're going to be wanting to look into or want to understand more of. But like there is in fact a perspective change, that is going to be some kind of an access point. Yeah, it's kind of like understanding and seeing those that did you wrong. Somebody with a Capricorn, some placement of Capricorn. There is going to be some kind of a. They just said that's the way it's gonna. It's kind of Uriel Gold is kind of like the understanding the list and checking it twice. It's almost like understanding possible. They said mates, but like divine self, orange, balancing intuition, connection of spirit. So okay, that's it. So okay, it's kind of funny because it's like they're like, oh yeah, this is like another layer. So some of you maybe identifying like how you are assisting your collective consciousness in transformation, in like the going from the caterpillar to the butterfly, and the gracefulness in the transition after becoming a butterfly, right? Dancing with the wind, feeling the movement, planting the seeds. It's the creating the next generation. It's like, and there can very well be some kind of an excitement through, for me, it's like, they're telling me like if you are in your rebirthing sign, right? And you encountered in this next phase. So for the horse, I believe the enemy sign is the rat, right? Um it's going to be like through your steadfastness, through your ability to allow another to make the moves that they made, you are activating some kind of karmic cycle. And the ancestors are watching with their eyes wide open. Like everybody is waiting to see like what you will manifest through your vibrational frequency. Like it's kind of like understanding once the shift happens, right? And you've shed your last little layer of your they're saying it's an overcoat, I don't know, that top layer of skin, right? And you fully like wiggle out of that casing, that last little bit, right? You are going to like amplify and rock it. It's like through the ability of truly understanding that you walk with angels, that you are walking magic, that your aura essentially is the amplification that like pushes out into the collective consciousness. You are balance. You are walking intuition. You are divinely a channel of light connected to source energy, right? And like once you attune, it's kind of like you have an active honing device through like how you're supposed to help impact those that you come across. It's a fight with like I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world, right? And your ego gets triggered through each of these reactions. And as you're pausing through the understanding that like the vibrational frequency that you are emitting now is going to pull in your future. And as you pause and you reflect and you choose actively to change the way that you're moving in the world. Like you're essentially connecting with grandfather's spirit. You're essentially like pulling in your highest victory. It's the alignment through the creation of like, I know things can be different. And even if those have stood against me, like once you understand and once you shift the alignment so that you, it's kind of like, even though those have harmed you, even though those have attempted to impede you, like your heart is still so pure and so genuine and so trusting that like God will right your wrongs, that you will not have to burden the energy. And so then you open up the gateway and that pathway to, yeah, whatever you've been praying, however you've been balancing energetic frequencies, like differences, the identifying and reaffirming opens up a doorway of justice. It's like a doorway of truth. It's like no longer can the wool be pulled over one's eyes. It's a spade is a spade. There's no way around it. And so like it's through whatever alignments are happening within your frequency. Somebody who has transitioned very well may be coming to say a hello. In regards to like a good advice, good insight, gathering insight. You may feel like you want to wear green, a lot more green to help ground you. And you also may come across something that glows in the dark, and this just may be a form of confirmation for something that you've been kind of debating or dissipating or unsure of, right? There's some kind of it's kind of a regalness through the form of like creation or through it's like understanding placement, understanding perspectives, understanding points of view, getting into a state of understanding and resiliency. Yeah, there's something when you put down the ego finally, and they're also showing me like the water like being baptized. Um, they're showing me John specifically baptizing, not Jesus, but baptizing others, like 10 years before Jesus incarnated. This could very well have been like a 10-year cycle of you coming back home to you. Um, it's like a evolution of or a reflection of that last cycle. And I want to say we're stepping into another 9-year cycle. Something to do with Aries. Is it Jupiter is in Aries? There's something that's going to be expanding and there's some kind of a slingshot. It's kind of like by you, they're almost showing me that like somebody wasn't necessarily as versed as you thought they were spiritually adept. So they essentially, you gave them enough rope to choose their pathway, right? And they had the ability to go the other way. They had the ability to choose a higher timeline. But for whatever reason, be it limiting beliefs, be it paralleled realities, they're choosing, the release of however it came into being. They say stubborn, rigid, my way or the highway. It's the operating out of fear, operating out of torment, operating out of a lower belief. And if that's something, say you picked up those energies by default, because it was a sexual partner, because it was like conditioned into your programming. Like, identify where it lives in your field and what you have been repeating. If you have to write it down, pause it, write it down, and burn it, right? Release it out into the ethers. Like, allow yourself to fully let go. If you have impediments like in your root chakra, in your solar plex, in your, they just said ka body, clear out those bodies. If you have fatigued and overtly, like you're constantly always tired, just take a deep breath and allow yourself to pull in like gold light, right? Um, For those of you with wings, fluff out your wings, right? Ask God to help you release any impediments that were put there to keep you in a lower frame of mind, in a state of impediment. Ask for divine assistance, right? And, ask it to be seen and shown to you in the next 24 hours, and release and allow it to fall into place, because it will, right? And because there could be very well like a prolonging or a desire to want to keep something going longer, right? But maybe it's not necessarily, I don't know, there's something with like you putting a wish, your wish is fulfilled, but also they just said it's going to be something that it's going to be proof that you walk in divine faith. It's like, it's going to be so obvious to you that you are a divine messenger, because of what's coming, because of all the tools that you've collected. The way that you understand and process material is quite different than everybody else. And so, like, understand that even though you walk by faith, not by sight, you allow God to reinstill to you, like your desires to express in a positive way, right? Understanding that you are imperfect, but that you're here to help. And it's kind of like, it brings the turkey vultures, it brings the death eagle, right? And it's the honoring that we need them. They're a vital part of the life cycle, right? Because they do cleanup. They're the cleanup crew. And so it's kind of like an honoring through the journey of like how you've gotten to here, and how you're helping transmute energies through connection and balance. It's really going to be a really big push for you to step into this next timeline phase, into an emperor energy, right? King Solomon. And it's understanding it's all facets of spirituality, right? Because for a while there, those seals that he had controlled all lower vibrational entities. And he essentially broke covenant with God, and then all of a sudden, all the wisdom he obtained held no power. When the scales flip and you are not walking in divine light, like, that's when God intervenes. And it's kind of like pulling or honoring a righteous man's journey. I have no idea. This has got to be for somebody out there. I don't know. There's something also with bloodlines and shrouds of protection, and activating your blueprints to not only help yourself, but to help your mm, monad pod oversoul. They're showing me different variations of same thread connections. But again, they're angelic. it's almost like your team is very angelic. Like you could very well have wings on your body tattooed. You could be wanting to add wings to your tattoos. Um, you just feel like you could very well be playing with your wings, or connecting with your ancestors in a different way. It's kind of like, what is it? The Moreau Institute has that one where you grab a seed and you hold on to the seed. And with the right frequency and the right auric field, you can actually ask the seed to increase and grow. Like that's a really good, it's a really good mental, exercise. Everything for me as a kid was a bar trick. So it's like, and I say kid in my 20s. So understanding how to throw energy without touching, right? Like having the identification of colors, numbers, letters, going through and growing a seed, bending spoons. Yeah, so there's different things that you can do to strengthen your ESP, your telepathy, your mental strength, bending reality. I don't know. There's something in regards to um, something surrendering in regards to what your beliefs of stability were, or the insecurity of stability. It's kind of like the driver of like what it means to be a provider. And it's also too like a reflection of, I don't know, like the energy is like really potent. Um, It's also honoring like how to show up as a good friend, or how to ask friends to show up to be a good support. I watched this clip and the guy said, if you don't understand another's love language, it doesn't matter if you know your own love language, right? Because another is not going to have normally the same love languages as you. In order to be a good partner, you have to understand what that person's love language is, and then offer the love and receptivity in the way that they're going to want it to fill their cup, right? And they should actually do the same for you. And that balancing of that reciprocity and that scale. Maybe that's something that you're uncovering, or that you're starting to get more clarity on, or more education. It's kind of like when one has been in toxic relationships, you're not going to understand what it means to have a communicative, balanced, where you fill each other's cup. And so that takes time, and it takes like a balance. They're saying a truce. It's really an honoring of the where you're at through your abilities and through your gifts. But to understand like the third leg to that is how, yes, in order to have open telepathy, in order to have this next level connection, right? Like you have to also learn how to communicate, how to align with your body. Like I've met people who are soulmates where their souls are so engulfed in each other. Like you literally cannot see where one soul ends and where the other begins, because the auric fields are so enmeshed in their thought process, in their programs, in their blueprints. Like it's literally, they got the assignment is what it is. The masculine got the assignment, the feminine got the assignment, and the way that they move in the world honors both aspects, right? And so maybe that's something that you are trying to dive into, or you're trying to understand more conceptually, of the light and the dark, or the balance. It's like red pill, blue pill. Like how do you exist in the world but not of the world, right? How are you balancing your own, it again, it's that being in a cave. It's that that winter vibe, and how do you kind of rebirth or replan or amplify to come out of the cocoon, and breathe, be the bright being that you are, to where you are walking in divine faith. It's awakened awareness. It's literally like you tapping into the sound of the universe and being in the soul's journey, through that shift of frequency. Like, you activate your soul chakra. You literally are like aligning with the spirits, like grounding in your own light, and like you're gonna start playing with that like so much more. I'm gonna leave that there, because honestly, like, they're just like keep talking about transformation, and like I could go for another 20 minutes. But I think the information that you need is in the message and in the deliverance. My hope and my desire for you is that you feel a little bit lighter, that you feel a little bit brighter, that you have clarity in regards to what they've been trying to tell you, or you have a confirmation, right? Like, you're right there. If you would like a healing or a reading, everything is below. I do have some stuff available in the next week and a half. Usually booking out about 2 weeks, but if I can get it to you sooner, I will. Until next time, be well and ciao.